Wrong way. There we go. Cool. What's good? What's good? Crazy day. What's up? What's up? Yeah, why are there why are there 72 people watching? Only 3 likes on the video. Damn. Gold with the dump. This happened last week too. If you go look at last week, Thursday. It was Thursday night. I think. Or not that was Thursday into Friday. So like last week there was a big drop. Friday was green though. There was a big dump like this last week. This came into a big area. I saw a buy this morning. There was like a man. I thought we were getting a nice buy this morning on this candle. Caught a trade in there. Caught a trade this morning in here, but then it just quickly went down. I thought we were getting a buy for like early New York. That ran down. Last week there was this drop. So if we look at like this started dropping for Friday. Last week there was a big drop that set up nice for Friday and the rest and the next week. Big drops. I mean, last night I streamed in the inner circle and I was saying like, you never know, price could drop $100, and what do you know, price drops $160 when it's making these like all-time highs. You usually get those types of drops, like when you're getting these higher highs. It's bright. Like, it's not random to get a drop like this, to say the least. Like, it's like, oh my gosh, it drops, it's dropping. Like, you're used to it going up a lot. It's not random for a drop like this to come in. If you've been spending a lot of time on gold, you're used to it going up. So like, drops like this are prominent, like they can come in any time. If you're on the stream with me last night, I was saying like just watch out. Like I was saying, like watch out, you could get a big drop. If you're streaming with me last night, I was saying like, you know, like price could drop. It could have a big drop. I was saying like we could drop like $100 potentially. I saw buys here on this candle. I went for buys on this candle. Waited, let it drop. Took some buys on this candle. It hit take profit too, and then this thing just dumped. It's in an interesting area. You could wait for like the 4 hour to close. So it's like it's gonna be bouncing up and down a lot. It could go lower. It's not gonna just flip up with the time of the day it is. But like next week, going into next week, depending on how the 4 hour finishes. Sunday too, like Sunday, one thing I was thinking is like Sunday could open bearish. You never know. Is it a buy now? Like with the time of the day, it's, you know, London session's about to finish. Time of the day, like it's like how much could you get out of it for the day to give you movement, but it could maybe be setting up into next week. Like if this was a Thursday, let's say if today was like a Thursday, it would be like, you know, a lot different. Yeah, this morning it looked like New York, early New York looked like buys to me this morning. I sent a signal. It didn't last too long. Now it's like, okay, you have like a buy the dips situation. Maybe loading on gold. Depends, like this area. Let's come to this area here. So for the day, you'll probably just get bounces up and down until it closes strong. Like if you look at the last drop, um, there was a pretty big drop here on gold last week on the 4 hour. Because like this drop you can visibly see on the 4 hour now. Like this drop, you can look at the 4 hour, you can visibly see the drop on the 4 hour. You haven't got a lot of, like, in this whole way up, all these candles, this is the first time the 4 hours really dropped. Realistically, when you look at this chart, this is the first time the 4 hours dropped. When you're looking at this chart, when you look at all those green candles along the way up, so we have all those green candles along the way up. This is like the first time the 4 hour is, you know, we could say like visibly pulling back since last week. Last week there was, if we look at last week, you had a drop here on the 4 hour. So it's like if you go back to that drop last week, pretty strong drop. At one point it was really fast. It dropped at one point like $112. Today you have a big drop, more than that. No, you can see that candle just kept going as much as it could. Came back to here, swept that area. I don't know, no, there was no other highs here. You could wait, you could watch for price action, like stronger price action to form, like see how these candles started rejecting after that move. I mean, it really started with this green one here that pushed up and closed bullish. Now that was like last Thursday, so it was like middle of the week. Wednesday, Thursday, reversal into Friday. Like Friday was at a lower point for gold. Like last Friday, gold was in a perfect buy. When you kind of think about last Friday where it was, gold was in an area where a sell-off already happened. So when you look at this chart, even when you go to that, when you go to you know, that run, like price has been running up. So like the 4 hour, a lot of gold's trading has just been after the 4 hour has moved down. You've had these big swings. So we've had a few times you can see where the 4 hour has turned over. I mean, some of them are faster than others, but you can see a few times here where the 4 hours turned over. So like once here, the market came down, it spiked up, and then it went down again and made a new low. So, I mean, when the 4 hour is making these extreme moves, it's good to be patient and even wait for them to close bullish. Especially, we're in an aggressive uptrend. Like the dips have been bought in pretty much like gold's. Like when you're looking at like the smaller time frames this week, every dip was bought in. So there's a bigger dip happening on a higher time frame, so it takes a bit longer than those smaller dips you get intraday or through the sessions, through Tokyo session or through a London session or through the week. It's a bigger dip, so it takes longer to maybe form and set up. It's happening on a higher time frame. So it's good to wait, like when you're getting these types of extreme moves, like we're getting right now, you do have time. Like there could be like if you're quick, you could obviously catch the quick little bounces, quick bounces. If you watch gold, it just bounced up a bit. It's been bouncing up and down. If you're just waiting for like a bigger move, these moves they do stop at some point. Like here, you see the market made a lower low, and you had this candle come. So that's like a hammer. After that, it moved. It held this area. So I mean, like there's been some pretty fast moves. Like see, this candle was like, pretty extreme. If you're trying to catch like these moves, like it's good to wait for the 4 hour, get closer to even waiting for the 4 hour to change. Like that candlestick, if you were watching like that candlestick, you might have been able to see it at a time. It looked like it was turning green. We've had some moves like this, but if you haven't been a part of them or watched them, you might, this move that happened might seem random. I mean, you can see this 4 hour big drop, fast down. Made this wick. Next candle is green. And then price just kind of continues up. So if you're looking for those buys, those swings, like they could try to carry on into next week. If like London session's about to finish, so the momentum's going to die down, but since we had such a big drop today, I don't know how Sunday's going to open. Sunday might open. What if Sunday opens bearish and it just finds a lower price, then sets up? Like in this case, you'd be maybe looking for the day to finish stronger if you're buying, but like you're gonna get that swing maybe setting up into next week if there is. In this case where you have like these types of candles, you're looking for longs. Since it's like more noticeable now in the 4 hour, like along the way up, the 4 hours dropped only like so many times too. Like there has been some drops even back over here on the 4 hour that are kind of noticeable. Not a lot. Like so since this moves, like it's noticeable on a 4 hour. Like see here, this move. There's some dips, like some retracements that have happened on the 4 hour along the way up. Now this is like pretty extreme move, like it's fast because it's a Friday. Those aren't like as extreme as today, but still like some dips. Same concept, like waiting for 4 hour closes. Since this move is now more noticeable on the 4 hour. Most like retracements. Like here you had waves down. A few. There was a few buying opportunities in here until it made like the big swing. Because that's creating this big wick. I traded all the way to this candlestick here. Almost came to 4,200. So like 4 hour, it could try to flip if this is like a buy the dip situation for next week. Because like if you put Fridays, if we mark Fridays, let's do this real quick. So take the sessions off here. I'll just put like New York. I mean, Fridays have been most weeks like in a point where the market's carrying on next week as well. I think the last couple of Fridays the market's been in a place where it's reversed and continued up the following week. Yeah, last few Fridays have, except for this, that's a Friday there. One thing I've noticed with gold is that Fridays have been in a spot. Thursdays, even Thursdays going into Fridays, I've been in a spot where, so this is Friday. It's been in a spot where the week, like the bullish momentum carries on into the following week. If you look at, so I've marked Friday. Pretty much Fridays, I've noticed this along the way up. I've noticed this the last 2 weeks. After this last 2 weeks, I've started to notice this. Common thing, like Thursday, Friday kind of reversals. Like these types of movements for Fridays can carry on into the following week. Look at August 29th. I mean, coming into that Friday, because there wasn't as much volatility as there is right now. Market was dropping a bit, and then so most Fridays have been in a spot where if it's bullish on the Friday, or it's in a spot where it sets up bullish to go into the next week. This Friday went down, but the following week went up in the beginning. So look at some of these Fridays, carries on bullish momentum into next week. Scheduled, routine, like behavior, like it's the timing of it, where it trades into, how it trades into. Like this was just like a midweek revert. Like this is like midweek reversal. Like Wednesday, Thursday reverse. Last week. Like bearish into Friday. Like market went bearish into Friday. This week, market's dumped Friday. Like we're on Friday right now. I mean, we have to see how next week opens. And if this area holds, maybe the 4 hour could close bullish. So the bigger dips, like gold, the way it's been trading, the bigger drops have always set in a bottom. So anytime, like the 4 hour, if you're trying to swing gold, if you're trying to swing trade it, use the 4 hour. I mean, the movement it's been giving, like gives like swing trade movements in short periods of time. But what I mean by like the 4 hours, like for example, look at every time the 4 hour has corrected. Every single time. Like down to here. Every single time the 4 hour has made like a major correction or a dump in price, as we like to say. What do you notice with price? That's when like a bottom actually gets set in. Where your bottoms are getting made or have been getting made is when your 4 hour corrects. That's where you get a bottom made, established. So when you're looking for like the bottom, the low, where a bottom more could be established, where a low, a bigger reversal, positioning. Right, like if you look at this chart, bottoms have been set after 4-hour corrections or 4-hour drops, dumps. You know, we like to call them dumps when the market dumps. That's where you've gotten your biggest rallies have come from, you know, 4-hour movements down. Your biggest moves up. Your swings that really go. When the 4 hours made some type of retracement or bigger move down. And so with that being said, like watching this next week, what this could turn into next week closely. Well, this area, we almost came back to 4,200, which is like a very psychological number. We're above 4,000 now, so do we ever want to come back to test 4,000? It's crazy. Now gold's trading above 4,000. We're looking at it like, okay, we're above 4,000, 4,100. Is there going to be enough demand around these prices still? That's one thing. Like, keep an eye on prices like $4,200, 4150. This whole area, you see this whole area here above 4,100. Keep an eye on prices like that, 4,000, 4,100. We came very, very closely to 4,200 today. Close to it. So like when we're looking at like where demand could come in, we can look at the fact that it's above a very key figure right now, a key figure being $4,000. Price is above that. So that shows like a signal of demand. We can also use that as like kind of like a floor, as like a threshold to understand like, okay, we're here in price. $4,000 is a very psychological price. Can price ever come back to that at the low end, right now, the lower 4,000s? If it's gonna go to 45, if it's gonna go to 44, 4,500, it's gonna try to find some of these prices. Like it's just made its way back to 4,200. So very, very key prices because there's a lot of volatility now. So the movements you're gonna be seeing on gold, like you'll be getting 100 pip like you're getting like $10 5-minute candles are normal. Like $10 moves on the 5-minute candle are pretty normal. Like this just went up $20. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, this just went up like $30 almost. So it's like you kind of got with the volatility, because right now something called the VIX, the volatility index, is up right now. The volatility spiked up in the last couple of weeks. Came down on the day, but like volatility, the VIX is up, so volatility is up. This is some conditions that might be like harder to gauge into with some pullbacks, because it's like right now, look at the 5-minute right now. It's moving $30 up and down. $40, $50, $30 movements, $30, $40 movements up and down. Great for scalping in and out. So yeah, like we're above. Keep in mind we're above 4K. $4,100, $4,200. We got some like key prices we could just maybe keep an eye on. This is like a threshold to me, an area where there could be demand. You can see that red candlestick to the left here, right? It came down to literally that. There's some demand there. Resistance, supply, demand here. So like from this point of view, it's like, do we hold 4,200? Which is right now price is at 50. Holding like 25. We used to $10 used to be like a yeah, like $10 is a small distance right now on gold. So we're like the last 4-hour correction was here. we know last week that brought in a bottom. That went below $4,000. That brought in a that move brought in a bottom. That's potentially if that's potentially like the phase. That's the phase gold's been in. So with what we're seeing here, maybe a bottom gets established going into next week. Remember this market, I guess when gold trends, if there's things aligning, if there's alignment with why it's trending too, like there's a lot of reasons why gold's trending. Remember this market condition, you never know for 2026 how the market's going to be. But yeah, like I said, along the way up, like there's been a few of these types of moves. Could wait, you could see here again there was some 4-hour rejection created here. Those were the last like two really big dips, other than before that, like here. And then the other ones before, and then also in here there was. So price was like, when you think about it, price was pretty extended. It was like overextended. This isn't random. I wouldn't look at this as like a random move. It's healthy. If there's like a, let's just say $4,500, if there's a magnet there, if that's where price wants to go, let's just say long term, the market's gonna want to, the market wants to do these types of things to get there. Like these dips are healthy if price is gonna keep going up. I mean, you only have so much time to look for like 4-hour rejection. I think we just got like, that's why I like to use the 2-hour as well. I like to use the 2-hour. I'll give you maybe a little bit earlier rejection sign. 1 hour, you could try to use the 1 hour. Just there is volatility on the pullbacks right now. Like your pullbacks, like if you get good pullbacks, like wick pullbacks down, like those could be good situations for entering. With the way this thing's moving right now, you're getting 30 pip moves, $30 moves easy. We hit a nice area on the 4-hour. When you look at the 4-hour, we hit a nice area. We did hit like a fair area to be where price came to. It is like where the market pushed to, that candlestick. It is like a fair area to be watching. That red candlestick right there. So I'm thinking next week, 4-hour rejection. London session, like this time of the day, London session's finishing, so I wouldn't be surprised if it tries to finish the day stronger. Go look at, like I showed you, if you go look at all the last like Fridays, it's not exactly the same, but like it's in a place where it's like similar. To where if today, let's say if we finish bullish, it's like interesting. If we finish bullish today, then it's like it's in a very similar spot to the last few Fridays. If it closes more, maybe if the candles close green. I'm not saying we're like if we go up today. I'm saying with like this candle and the next candle, if they close green, it's like in a very similar spot from the last couple of Fridays that have happened over since like August 29th, Friday, since like over here. Like if this candle closes green or more bullish, the next one, like that's interesting. kind of leads it to like setting up for next week to maybe retrace at least or go back to the high. We shall see. Am I buying the dip? No, I'm selling. What do you think? Yeah, I have some small positions kind of scaling in. Nothing big in case like I'm not really trading it too big right now. I have some buys on my funded account here too. Am I buying the dip? Yeah, I got to. I have to. If I don't, it goes against my philosophy. Goes against my philosophy. If I do not, it goes against everything I've been doing, or everything I've been teaching too. I'm playing like to see if the day finishes bullish. Maybe a bit risky, aggressive. It is a Friday. So I'm playing like the move to see if the day finishes a bit more green. Like if we get some green candles up, if we finish like if we get a bullish flip. Spicy. So volatility, when volatility increases like this thing, the VIX, your average pip movements, you might even see on currency pairs or other instruments that you're trading, volatility has maybe increased on some of those things, like with how much pips they move on average. That's because like this thing has had like a spike up. When this thing spikes up, the volatility, like last time, I remember, man, anyone that was trading in like March, April, May, or let's say February, March, April towards May. It's like all February, March, and all of April. Yeah, we had a lot of like the volatility was crazy in there. Like there were days gold was dropping like $100, like nothing, and moving like $80 back and forth. And then there was like a day that gold dropped I think like $250. Like the volatility in March and April was like crazy. I think like here gold dropped like $250 or something like that. It was like a crazy move. So yeah, like best case, like wait to see 4 hour. Watch your 4 hour. I'm trying to hold some swings and see like early. Like I'm getting in. It's kind of early to get in, but I want to see how the day finishes. You can wait for like situation like this, 4 hour rejection. Next week, when market opens, with a chance if they're trying to buy the dip too, like there is a chance Sunday opens like a gap down if they want to push it down more. That is a possibility with the markets. After everything I've experienced in the markets, I always think of like sometimes the worst case scenarios too, like what could always happen because the market that's out of your control, right? So I think if Sunday opens bearish, it gaps down, like it could be them just trying to push the market down more for buy the dips. Wait, you could wait. Like I'm already trying to swing some buys, but you could still just play it calm and wait for 4 hour rejections next week. Maybe even this candle that the market's on, but that's very limited time. So it's like next week. Levels to watch gold, like I said, over the next month, going into like November. Of course, the one that's like the closest would be 4,200, 4,100. Like, but the way it's moving, those like it seems far, like damn, but the way volatility is, those would be over the next month, like going into November. Definitely some key levels to keep an eye on. If you're bullish, like if you're trying to presume this uptrend, like there's been a lot of uptrend action, so the market could try to rebalance and find some of these more like valuable psychological prices. 42, 41, 4,000, 4,100. Look at what happened at $4,100. There was a big move down to it. Yeah, like even through November, like going even like the next month, like even going into like November, these could be some levels to watch. 4,000, we're above 4,000. Who would have thought we would have been saying that a while ago? So like, I look at that as like kind of like what happened like with 2,000, 3,000. It's a very psychological level. It's also where we kind of have like some price action. I mean, if it was Thursday, it would be like I would be like, yo, this is like we have like really good timing here. If it was a Thursday, but Friday, it's like you have a few hours to see how this finishes. So see if like around this area where that wick is, you can get 4 hour rejection. Try to see like we're getting a wick right now on this candle. That is kind of a like it's like a early sign of rejection. There's like that wick there. That could be like that's an early sign. Because if market's strong enough, we get that like this. The timing of this is just coincidental to me. Like it could try to go for that swing back up. Now, you don't have to try to catch the bottom. You could wait for the 4 hour because like if the market starts swinging up, like here's the thing with gold. You don't have to catch the bottom because once it starts these moves, it really starts going. Like once it catches like some fire, like once the market really starts actively moving, there's a lot of entries you can catch in like the inner trend on smaller time frames. Because like if you look at the last 4 hour rejection way down there, like you didn't have to catch the bottom, but like once it started reversing, it's like okay, there was a lot to catch. So if this thing's gonna swing up, right? That 4 hour getting that 4 hour ejection is like key to know. Like okay, the bottom or a low could be set in. After that, it could become like more confident. Like if you take into consideration like all these dumps and gold, go back to the beginning of 2025. Like start at 2025 and go to 2025 and start there. And look at all the dips on gold and how they all finish, where they all finish, how the 4 hour sets up. Like I mean, once the 4 hours like really confirmed, like after a lot of these dips, like price moves like this. When I say dips, I mean like these moves down, or these bigger moves that, again, recognizable on the 4 hour. Like it's recognizable on 4 hour chart. Oh, crypto. Well, bull run's canceled. I'll look at crypto. We need a strong November, that's for sure. So recognizable dips on the 4 hour. Like once the reversal sort of kicks in, right? Like, and a lot of these are happening at key price levels. Like this is happening at 26.25 here. The one at the bottom. That's happening at 26.25. Let me show you. So like all these dips down where they reverse. This was close. Wow, it's crazy because I actually remember this. This was here. It almost came to 50. This was around 2,700. Like once they reverse, once they have some strong movement, they start moving. There's still action to catch potentially. Like this ran up. This started reversing here, and it ran up. So if you go back to even the beginning of 2025 and you look at all the price moves down, right? Like you don't have to catch the bottom, but the 4 hour can be like a confirmation of like, okay, this is maybe the area where it could be starting. And if it does, like there could still be potentially a lot of movement to catch after that. When you look at all these corrections, so these are all nice drops on gold back in like the beginning of 2025, right? All of them, all these drops, at some point the market shifts the other way, right? So you don't have to get the exact bottom on these movements, right? You can wait. Like look at this candlestick right here that forms after price has a very strong move down. So those are those, again, like 4 hour, getting those 4 hour rejections is key. Because it can start a trend. It can start the stronger move. You go back and, again, that was in here. You go back to the beginning of 2025. I'm not doing the whole chart, but like you could do that for yourself too and go back on your chart and see exactly what I'm talking about. Similar to, you know, if you're looking at this as a buy situation, it's like you have time still to wait for a 4 hour to come in, maybe even two, multiple, before potentially it's like, okay, right location. Because it could come down more. The next 4 hour could come down, and the 4 hour rejection could form lower. Like, what if the next candle comes down and just like kind of closes more around here? So we don't always know. The key is the market gives us those clues with time. Like we know with anticipation like what the market's likely to do, but like with time the market's gonna give us that candle that we're waiting for, only with time. So it's sometimes it's a waiting game, like when you're seeing these moves, like because a 4 hour, again, takes 4 hours. Like this candle still has time. So like angle for next week, like we're gonna be streaming next week. We got a new week loading, so it's like waiting for next week. Maybe seeing how the market closes today, so that could give us an idea of next week more. Wait, see if you get that like 4 hour bullish close in here, 4 hour rejection, we like to call it. Because if you go down more, like price could always go down more, like turn into a bigger correction like this, or longer. Like it could spend longer time going down. You get another candle down, it would be the same situation we're in now. If the next candle goes down, it's like still wait for that 4 hour rejection. Usually like when gold, like this is how I always traded gold. I traded like the 4 hour when like back in like here. Like this year it's been just a lot of bullish moves, but like when gold's not just trending one way, there's a lot of like there's times where there's just equal moves back and forth on gold, and it's nice, it's clean. Like in here, all in here there's nice rejection candles for sells and buys. We had one last night. Last night there was a sell candle here, and it's gone down since. I'd say for next week, wait for 4 hour rejection. Next move for Solana. Maybe it holds this low, like you're at the lows. Bounce from here. Like you're at... You could get a bounce from here. Like a bounce. So maybe a bounce from this low, like on the daily low. Bitcoin hit what? 103. Holy, yeah, 103 got tapped. I said the other day if it breaks 111, we could go to 107 or even 103. The fundamentals around crypto like are still always strong, but price action right now is looking weak in the short term. Right now, best coins like to stick to. I mean, like it's all about why you're buying your coins. Like if you're holding coins, it's like should you still be holding your coins? Depends on your time horizon. Why you bought the coins you buy in the first place. Like if you believe in the fundamentals of the coin, whatever coin it is, any coins. Someone said H bar in the chat. So like with H bar, if you believe in the network partnerships, the enterprise adoption, the long-term technology with H bar, I mean, it doesn't change the bigger picture for you. If you're in things for quick flips, then you need to look at where the market cycle is and decide if that capital could work harder somewhere else. But if you like believe in, if the projects you're holding, like depends on why you bought things. You again, like I said, your time horizon, why you know, time horizon, why you bought it in the first place. If the fundamentals are still strong for the coins you're holding, if they have like H bar, someone said H bar in the chat, so H bar has like a lot of good network partnerships. Yeah, Bitcoin's still staying steady. Like, it's feeling like March, April again. So how the market feels for me is like March, April again. It feels like March, April when everything got crazy with the whole tariffs. That's how the market feels right now for me. Which again means there could be more bleeding out. Like March and April presented like a really good opportunity after things dumped. Like there was a huge sell-off here on like Bitcoin. It went down like 30%. So like the market is feeling similar to how it felt all in there. It's fast right now though. Like we just saw the biggest liquidation ever in history last Friday. And there's been still more liquidations occurring after that and reoccurring. It's pretty fast, like how this, like what this did compared to like this. It's like, damn, a lot happened in here. It's feeling the same, but like there was an opportunity that prevailed out of that whole crash back in here. And the crashes were like here and here. I wouldn't say Bitcoin's crashing. Like it's definitely in the short term having a lot of volatility on the sell side. Its price is still strong. We're above 100K. It's a very pretty dominant threshold for Bitcoin, the 100K level. Bears are trying to push it maybe even to like the 90s. I think the market wants to maybe go to like 93, find those 90s. So it could be a crypto winter coming. We know crypto can shift quick. Could be a crypto winter coming. Like Bitcoin dropped down to 32% in price last year. If it were to do that, we'd get to like, if it kept dropping, we'd get to like 88K on a Bitcoin. Like 103. The lower hundreds, 100K. Almost came to 100K there. Now at 107. Yeah, it's looking sort of like last year. Price is looking like last year, like this. They could try to run the lows. Like it just ran these lows. We have these lows here. And we have these lows over here. So it just took out all these lows. Psh. Probably just grabbed a lot of liquidity, took out a lot of buyers. So it has to hold this area here. It has to hold this. Otherwise, we're coming, like, trying to come back down into here for the next, like, liquidity grab. November, we have to see, like, this has been a pretty bad October. Everyone, it also reminds me of two things. We were all expecting, like, Ethereum to go up. I remember back when Ethereum was 4,000. Like, when Ethereum was here, we were all bullish. Everyone thought it was going to be alt season, and then Ethereum went through a bear market and then changed. So we were all expecting like October going up. Market's giving us the opposite, which is coincidentally something the market tends to do when it's like one thing is expected so much. And I guess we kind of ran into that type of situation where like it was like October, everyone was expecting October, it pumped. Now it's down. If you're still expecting October, you have 2 weeks to see if this recovers. I mean, we know crypto can move really quick. Bitcoin went up $18,000 in how many days? Bitcoin went up $18,000 in like 10 days. It's gone down in 10 days, 22,000. It went up 18,000 in 10 days, down 22,000. It's pretty crazy. That's pretty crazy. That's pretty crazy movement. So it's quite volatile now. Like, we couldn't have got those movements 5 years, 6 years, like 4 years ago. Like, going up $18,000 in 10 days and then down 22 shows you a lot of volatility, a lot of accumulation, a lot of sells, a lot of buys. It's active. It's an active thing there. Bro, up 18,000, yeah, like $18,000 in a matter of days, 10 days, and then down 22,000 in 10 days. So I don't want to give you hopium, but there's how many days left in October? Maybe we go up. Maybe we get a mega pump in the next 13 days, but that's like, if you're weighing things to probabilities, like I don't know how much of a probability that has. Right now, like the volatility has, look at like the volatility has increased on this thing like crazy, like up $18,000, down $22,000, 10 days. In 10 days, it took 10 days. So in the last, like, literally in the last, it's what, 20 days, right? In the last, yeah, it's 21 days. That's what price has done in 21 days. It's been able to move up $18,000, down $22,000. It's pretty impressive. It's pretty impressive. Pretty impressive if you ask me. Yeah, it's basically like make it or break it for Bitcoin. Last year November rallied because of elections. Interest rates were getting cut last year. Do we get a November pump? Typically, November has been strong, and typically going into November has been strong. This year it started good, but then November, last two Novembers are pretty solid for crypto. Hasn't happened the year before. The year before it was not. The last two, like crypto is already pumping the last two Novembers. The 4-year cycle might have turned into a 5-year cycle, folks. Yeah, if you're bullish still, like on crypto, if you're still holding, like you still have November for it to potentially perform and pump. Gold, buy the dips. Buy the dips. Scale into the dips. If you're trying to trade it, you'd have to try to scale in. Like, you're not just going to get one solid entry right now. It's not the 4 hour, not the right timing. So I would trade small, try to scale in if you're trying to look for entries on gold. You'd have to scale in, something we call scaling in or layering into the trades, like scaling into a position. Building a position. Yeah, crypto's looking spooky, and I mean, this is the time where people lose like hope, gets way more fearful. People start to sell. A lot of people are selling. A lot of retail is selling. A lot of people are selling crypto and their bags. Some people are done, and we just had like the biggest liquidation ever in history. Stock market went to fear as well. That's like one thing. Like the stock market went to fear. I think almost extreme fear. We're back in like a very fearful stage right now for the market. Who knows how long it'll take to get out of this one though? Like, we have to see. Because if it goes to extreme fear, then it's going to be like in a very similar stage to where it was like when it was like February, March, April. So it's like we gotta kind of brace yourself. Like, we're in a fear stage. Usually when the market's in fear, that's like a great time to buy. Like, that's the best time to be looking for buys, is when market is in fear, because it usually bounces from fear, recovers, or has like big runs off of fear. You're usually at lower prices, cheaper prices in dip situations. So it's like to dollar cost average in crypto, like it's kind of just wait for the market to be in fear to get like the best or better prices. If you're looking for cheaper, better, lower prices, whatever stage the market's in, fear is pretty much the best time to wait for, be positioned in. So that's why you don't, like, this is an indicator where usually when it's in, it's like, usually when the market's in fear, it's like most people are getting fucked. Most people are getting screwed. So it's like one of the points of time where it's like the best position to, kind of buy, in my opinion. You could spend your time out of the market waiting for the market to get to a fearful stage. You could spend your time sitting on your hands and just waiting for, okay, market's in fear, I'm going to start positioning myself, or I'm going to start buying something or looking at something, seeing where things are at, maybe start building a position. Or you could wait for extreme fear. Extreme fear doesn't happen all the time, but in trading, like, that could be a strategy where you don't have to be looking for buys and positions and buying every day all the time. Like, you can literally wait for stages where the market enters fear. That will happen time and time again. Crypto, we see it happen, and usually when it happens, it recovers out of fear. Like, you can get recoveries out of fear. The market was just in a greed territory. Like, the market just started entering greed, and then it dumped. Market just got greedy again, and then it dumped. There's extreme greed, extreme fear. Extreme fear, like these stages though, like who knows how long the market can last in them. Like it's a stage where it's like, it's not like a gold scalp where it's just gonna bounce up. It's a stage that the market can stay in. It can like accumulate more fear, basically. More fear can be accumulated when the market is in fear, because it can stay in fear. It's interesting. Scares people. Maybe 2 hour, like 4 hour, like I said, is the best to wait for. That's not, maybe, I don't know if that's gonna happen today. 2 hour, 1 hour, watch gold. Next week we'll be live throughout the week, but I gotta go. I gotta wrap it up. We're getting Rocktober, Dumptober, Cooktober, whatever, Fucktober, it's a bloody one. Rectober, let's call it. Market speed marketing. Load up gold next week. Maybe next week. Let's see. Load up on gold, fam. Let's see. I gave you guys a whole lesson though on what you could wait for. All right, remember. Oops. Please. That'd be nice. If not, over the next month, keep an eye. Like I said, remember, over the next month, keep an eye on levels like 4,100, 4,000. Or you can kind of see here in the middle, it's 4150, like this area. Keep an eye on those areas too. Yeah, especially over the next like month going into November. 4,100, 4,000. I know it seems far, but that's why I said over the next month, like the market could get to those levels. Look how much it moved today, right? All right, y'all, I'm out. Peace out. I'll be on next week. Just keep an eye on this bad boy next week. All right.